In a very recently posted video, we had this question being referred to. I would like to use the same set of data to deal with this question, where they ask us for the standard deviation, the interquartile range, and what happens to the standard deviation and interquartile range when we find out that a score has been misrecorded. So, pulling up the previous data, to get the standard deviation, since this is a sample, remember after equals, STDEV, put a .s, and then tell it that it's going, in this case, from column B, row 1, colon, to column B, row 20. And depending on how much precision is needed, you could drag this to the right. Now that's our sample standard deviation, so that's a lowercase s. And we've already found out that the interquartile range is 120. Now I had sorted this data. So what if it turns out that the 303 there was in fact a month that the cell phone user did not use the phone at all, and that should have been a 0. The 303, if we look at 303 through 546, those are closer together. I predict that when I change that to a 0, that we're going to get a larger standard deviation. Okay, so let's notice that. It went from 78.8 something up to 124.2 something. Now, the median is still the 458, halfway between the 10th and 11th score. Quartile 1, we split the data into the lower 50%, the bottom 10 scores. So that would be halfway between the 5th and 6th scores. Still going to have 402. And quartile 3 is not changing. Scores 11 through 20, now that we have this in order. This was done in the other video recently posted. Okay, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway between the 516 and the 528 was the 522. So our interquartile range, 522 minus 402, is still 120. So what this illustrates is that the standard deviation went up. The interquartile range had no change. And what this illustrates is that interquartile range is either resistant or at least more resistant. You could get some sets of data where a particular change would cause both the standard deviation and the interquartile range to change, but interquartile range would at least change less.